Part 1. The Cold Mountain and the Warm Valley. The wind blew hard around the tall mountain. It made a loud crying sound. On the top of this mountain stood a very big castle. The walls were black stone. There were no flowers. There were no trees. It was always cold and dark. Queen Morana lived in this castle. People called her the Wicked Queen. She wore a long, heavy black dress. She wore a tall crown made of sharp iron. Every morning she sat on her cold chair and looked out the window. Her face was always hard like the stone around her. She did not smile. She kept her hands in tight fists. She wanted everything to be perfectly clean, perfectly quiet, and perfectly in her control. Below the dark mountain was the green valley. The valley was very different. It was full of bright sunlight. Yellow and blue flowers grew everywhere. Tall trees with thick green leaves danced in the gentle wind. Birds sang happy songs all day long. A witch named Ilara lived in this valley. People called her the Kind Witch. Ilara wore simple, soft green clothes. She did not wear shoes. She liked to feel the warm dirt under her feet. Her hands were always dirty from planting seeds. She had a soft voice and a ready smile. She loved every animal and every plant in her home. The problem started on a Tuesday morning. Queen Morana looked down from her dark window. She saw the bright green valley. It made her eyes hurt. It was too wild. It was too colorful. She hated it. "I want to build a new road," Queen Morana said to her guards. "A wide, gray road made of stone. It must go right through the green valley. Cut down the trees, burn the flowers. I want order. I want control." Down in the valley, Ilara was watering her roses. Suddenly, the water in her bucket stopped moving. The birds stopped singing. Ilara felt a cold wind touch her shoulders. She looked up at the black castle on the mountain. She touched a tree trunk. "I feel it too, old friend." Ilara whispered to the tree, "Danger is coming, but I will not let the stone cover our home." Part 2. The Sound of Axes and Angry Words. The next day the queen's soldiers marched down the mountain. They carried big, sharp axes. They wore heavy gray metal on their bodies. They marched step, step, step. The sound was loud and scary. They stopped at the edge of the forest. The captain raised his axe to cut the first big tree. Suddenly the ground moved. Green vines grew very fast out of the dirt. They wrapped around the captain's axe. They pulled it out of his hands. More vines grew around the soldiers' legs. They did not hurt the men, but they held them tight. The soldiers could not move. Queen Morana saw this from her mountain. She was very angry. She got on her black horse and rode fast down to the valley. When she arrived, she saw Ilara standing quietly in front of the trees. "Witch!" Queen Morana shouted. Her voice was like cracking ice. "Let my soldiers go. You are stopping my work." Ilara did not shout back. She looked at the queen with calm, sad eyes. "Your work is bringing death, Morana. These trees are alive. They have families. They have roots that hold the earth together. You cannot just cut them down." "I am the queen," Morana yelled. She pulled on her horse's reins. The horse moved nervously. "Everything belongs to me. The mountain, the valley, the dirt, and the trees. If I want a road, I will have a road." "You can build around the forest," Ilara said slowly. "We can share the space. You do not need to destroy something beautiful just to feel strong." Morana felt a sudden sharp pain in her chest. Ilara's words felt too true, but Morana quickly pushed the feeling down. She lifted her chin high. She would not let a simple witch see her feel weak. "I do not share." Morana shouted. She raised her hands. Dark smoke and red fire came from her fingers. She threw the dark fire toward the trees. Ilara quickly moved her hands in a circle. A high wall of clear water rose from the river. The dark fire hit the water with a loud hiss. Hot steam filled the air. They stood there, looking at each other through the white steam. Morana was breathing fast. Her hands were shaking a little bit, but she kept them raised. She felt very tired, but she could not stop. She had to win. Ilara kept her hands steady, holding the water wall. She looked at the angry queen and only felt deep sadness. Part 3. The Falling Sky. The magic from the fire and the water was too strong. The air began to feel very heavy. The sky turned a strange purple color. Deep under the ground, an old, wild magic woke up. It did not like the fighting. Suddenly the ground began to shake. It was not a small shake. It was a terrible, violent earthquake. Boom! A loud sound came from the mountain. What is happening? Morana cried. She looked up. Large black rocks were breaking off the side of the mountain. They were falling fast. Morana's black horse was too afraid. It stood on its back legs, throwing Morana to the hard ground, and then it ran away. Morana tried to stand up. She looked at the sky. A huge rock, as big as a house, was falling right toward her. No! She screamed. She tried to lift her hands to use her dark magic. She tried to make a shield. But she was too tired. Her magic was gone. Only a few small sparks came from her fingers. She fell back down. Her heavy iron crown fell off her head and rolled into the dirt. She covered her head with her hands. She squeezed her eyes shut. She was not a powerful queen right now. She was just a very frightened person waiting for the end. She felt small and completely alone. Ilara was safe near the trees. She saw the huge rock falling. She saw Morana on the ground. Ilara knew she could run deeper into the forest and be completely safe. This was the wicked queen. This was the woman who wanted to destroy her home. But Ilara looked at Morana covering her head. Ilara did not see a monster. She saw a scared human being. Ilara did not think. She ran. She ran as fast as she could, out of the safe trees. She ran into the open, shaking ground. She reached Morana just as the giant rock came down. Ilara pushed her hands up to the sky. She closed her eyes and shouted. A bright, warm green light exploded from her body. The light hit the falling rock. The rock stopped in the air, just inches above them. Ilara was sweating. Her arms shook. The rock was so heavy. Move! Ilara shouted through her teeth. Crawl out! Morana opened her eyes. She saw the witch holding the giant rock with magic. Morana crawled fast on her hands and knees out from under the shadow. Ilara let her arms fall. The green light stopped. Crash! The huge rock hit the ground exactly where Morana had been lying a second before. The shaking stopped. The sky slowly turned blue again. The air was full of thick, gray dust. Part 4. The Truth in the Dust. Everything was very quiet. Ilara fell to her knees. She was breathing heavily. Her soft green dress was covered in gray dirt. A few feet away, Morana was sitting in the dirt. Her beautiful black dress was torn. Her hands were bleeding a little. She looked at the giant rock, and then she looked at Ilara. Morana's chest went up and down. She opened her mouth to speak. But no words came out. She looked around. Her soldiers had run away. Her horse had run away. Her crown was lost in the dust. Only the kind witch was still here. Why? Morana finally asked. Her voice was very small. It sounded like a child's voice. Why did you do that? I wanted to burn your flowers. I wanted to cut your trees. I have been terrible to you. Ilara slowly stood up. She walked over to the queen. She did not look angry. She sat down in the dirt next to Morana. "I saw you on the ground." Ilara said softly, "You were afraid. When someone is afraid and needs help, you help them. That is the only rule that matters." Morana looked down at her dirty hands. A hot tear fell from her eye. Then another. She tried to wipe them away quickly, but more tears came. She covered her face and began to cry. Her shoulders shook. She cried for a long time. Ilara did not say anything. She just sat quietly beside her. "I am so tired," Morana whispered from behind her hands. "I am so tired of being angry." "Why are you so angry, Morana?" Ilara asked gently. Morana slowly put her hands down. Her face was red and wet. "Because the stone on my mountain is the only thing that stays. When I was young, people left me. They said I was not good enough. So I built thick walls. I pushed everyone away. I wanted to make the whole world gray and hard like my castle. If everything is hard, nothing can hurt me." She looked at the green valley. "But your valley is so soft. It changes, things grow and die. It made me feel out of control. It made me remember that I am alone." Ilara reached out. She gently took Morana's hand. The queen's hand was cold. Ilara's hand was warm. "You do not have to be alone," Ilara said. "A wall keeps out the bad things, yes, but it also keeps out the good things. It keeps out the sunlight. You can let the walls down now." Morana looked at their hands, joined together for the first time in many years. She did not pull away. Part 5. The Tree of Two Colors. Many months passed. The valley looked different, and the mountain looked different too. The black castle was still on the mountain, but it was not completely dark anymore. The big iron doors were open. Sunlight came into the halls. Queen Morana did not wear her heavy iron crown. Today she wore a simple dark blue dress. She walked down the mountain path. She did not ride a scary horse. She walked slowly, listening to the birds. She reached the green valley. Ilara was waiting for her near the river. "Good morning, Morana," Ilara said with a bright smile. "Good morning, Ilara," Morana replied. She smiled back. It was a small smile, but it was real. They walked together to a patch of fresh brown dirt. In Morana's hands was a small young tree. It was a special tree. It had dark, almost black branches, but its leaves were a bright, shining green. Morana knelt in the dirt. She didn't care that her dress got messy. She dug a small hole with her hands. Ilara poured some fresh water into the hole. Together they placed the small tree into the earth. They covered the roots with soil and patted it down firmly. "It will grow strong here," Morana said softly. "Yes," Ilara agreed, "because it has both of us to care for it." They stood up and looked at the valley. There was no gray road. The forest was safe. But there was a new beautiful stone bridge crossing the river, built by the queen's men to help travelers. The valley and the mountain were learning to live together. Morana looked at the small tree. She learned a big lesson. She learned that true strength is not making people afraid. True strength is having the courage to be soft, to ask for help, and to let things grow, and a heart, even one as hard as stone, can always learn to love the sunlight again.